Thank you for tuning in to V News. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng attends UN Climate Change Conference in Paris. Vietnam and Cuba celebrate 55 years of diplomatic relations. Disbursement of foreign direct investment reaches $13.2 billion.
The 21st Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change officially opened in Paris, France on November 30th, with the participation of 150 heads of state and government. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng led a Vietnamese delegation to the conference.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng presence at the United Nations Climate Change Conference is a testimony to Vietnam's active and positive international integration policy, showing Vietnam's strong commitment to participating in international efforts to respond to climate change. We also promote cooperation opportunities between Vietnam, other countries, and international partners. As one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change, Vietnam is aware of the severe impacts of climate change on sustainable development. The government has built and carried out programs and national policies on climate change response. Vietnam has joined many important international treaties and made contributions to the international negotiation process on climate change. In his opening remarks, French President François Hollande expressed his hope that world leaders will be determined to achieve a historic agreement to cope with climate change. For the first time in over 20 years of UN negotiations, the event, also known as the 2015 Paris Climate Conference, we aim to achieve a legally binding and universal agreement on climate change, with the aim of keeping global warming below 2 Celsius degrees at the end of the 21st century, in comparison with the industrial period of 1850 to 1990.
During his trip to France to attend the 21st Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng met leader of the France-Vietnam Friendship Association and representatives of the Vietnamese community.
When meeting with the leader of the France-Vietnam Friendship Association in Paris on November 29th local time, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng has reiterated friendship with the French people, especially during a time of heavy losses caused by recent terrorist attacks in Paris. He expressed thanks to the association and General Secretary Jean-Pierre Archambault for the support for Vietnam's past struggle for national liberation and current nation-building process. He held the association activities of the past years, particularly projects and programs to have Vietnam surmount war aftermaths, deal with sustainable development-related issues, and alleviate poverty. The General Secretary said his association will implement more cooperation projects and humanitarian activities, especially to support Agent Orange vaccine victims, and continue efforts to intensify collaboration between two countries in general and their localities in particular. On the same day, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng met representatives of the Vietnamese community and the Vietnamese embassy in France. He emphasized that the party and state continually consider the overseas Vietnamese community an important and integral part of the nation.
A ceremony was held in Hanoi on November 30th to celebrate the 55th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Cuba. The event saw the attendance of many high-ranking officials from both countries.
Addressing the event, which aimed to mark the 55th anniversary of diplomatic ties, head of the party's Central Committee's Commission for Popularization and Education, Đinh Thế Huynh, said the bilateral ties have been nurtured incessantly and have developed into comprehensive cooperation with mutual trust. Huynh described the consistent solidarity, comprehensive cooperation, and mutual trust between two parties, states, and people of the last 55 years as a precious shared asset. He said he believes future generations will continue treasuring the friendship and dedicating themselves to further deepening these special relations. Cuban ambassador to Vietnam, Emilio Lopez Diaz, asserted that the model relations between two nations have contributed to each country's national construction, defense, struggle for peace, and stable development. He said he hopes they could strengthen their relations even more in the future. On December 2, 1960, the Cuban and Vietnamese governments set up a diplomatic relationship, ushering in a new chapter in their friendship.
Disbursement of foreign direct investment in Vietnam reached an estimated $13.2 billion from the beginning of this year until November 20th, up 17.9% against 2014. More details coming up next.
The General Statistics Office reported Vietnam attracted $20.22 billion worth of FDI during the reviewed period, a year-on-year rise of 16.7%. During the reviewed period, the manufacturing and processing sector lured the largest share of FDI with $12.93 billion, or 64% of the nation's FDI. Ho Chi Minh City remained the most attractive destination to foreign investors as it absorbed more than $2.54 billion, making up 18.8% of total FDI registered in the country. It was followed by the Mekong Delta province of Trà Vinh and the southern provinces of Đồng Nai and Bình Dương. From January to November 20th, the Republic of Korea was Vietnam's largest source of FDI with more than $2.5 billion, accounting for 18.6% of the country's total new FDI. It was followed by Malaysia, the UK, Japan, and Taiwan, China.
More and more countries have opened their doors to Vietnamese fruits and vegetables, including selected markets like the US, Australia, the EU, and Japan, making the sector likely to achieve the government's target of $1.65 billion in fruit and veggie exports this year. Earnings from fruit and vegetable exports have increased strongly in recent years, from $460 million in 2010 to $1.47 billion last year, according to the Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association. Vietnam exports 40 kinds of fruits and vegetables to 40 countries and territories, including major export markets like China, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the US, Malaysia, and Thailand. Exports of fresh fruit to demanding markets like the US last year went up by 1.5 times over 2013, with more than 3,000 tons of fresh fruits exported. China remained the largest importer in the first 8 months of this year, accounting for 64.2% of Vietnam's total fruits and vegetable exports. Major exports to China include mango, banana, dragon fruit, and rambutan. The second largest importer of fruits and vegetables from Vietnam is Japan, making up 4.1% of Vietnam's total exports. The increase in exports of fruits and vegetables is mainly due to a larger area of fruit and vegetable cultivation that meets Vietgap standards, which help increase the quality of materials. In September, more than 20 hectares of big longan cultivated in the northern province of Hưng Yên met Vietgap standards and are now eligible for exports to the US. New Zealand and Australia this year also allowed the imports of Vietnamese rambutan and lychee, respectively, and Japan has just opened its market for Vietnamese fresh mango. A photo exhibition on China's illegal construction of artificial islands in the East Sea opened at the Kyung Hee University, a renowned school in Seoul of the Republic of Korea. Let's take a look.
The event is held by the Association of Descendants of Vietnam's Lee Dynasty family in the Republic of Korea as part of the 11th Festival of Vietnamese Students in the country. It features more than 40 photos on China's illegal island reclamation and building in the East Sea, and copies of old maps proving Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa Paracel and Trường Sa Spratly archipelagos. The event is expected to have Korean and foreign visitors gain a better understanding of China's illegal island building, which is a serious violation of Vietnam's sovereignty, along with Vietnam's efforts to protect its sovereignty in the East Sea throughout history. The photo exhibition is the fourth of its kind on this topic, held so far in the East Asian nation. The previous events were organized in Busan, Gwangju, and Daejeon cities.
A national eloquent contest has been launched to enable children to speak out ideas about related policies through the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Our reporters will have more details.
Vietnam is the second country in the world and the first in Asia that started the convention. Many contestants held that the child age is raised from 16 to 18, may help them grow both physically and mentally, and benefit from the state's TRICARE policy.
In my opinion, it is necessary to raise the child age from 16 to 18 because they need to be protected as their mentality and physical health are fragile. Furthermore, it goes in line with the Convention on the Rights of the Child.
Eligible candidates must be aged from 7 to 17 and currently living in Vietnam. The contest is open to all nationalities. The entries must not enter any other competitions before. Registration will be open from December 12th to January 1st, 2016. For me, children have rights to participate in forums and contests, through which we can voice our opinions. The first round will take place from January 1st to 5th, 2016, with winning submissions posted on the web page for public voting. These entries will be further examined from January 6th to 31st, based on a range of criteria, such as contents, eloquence, creativeness, as well as sound and image quality.
In support of World AIDS Day, December 1st, a new music video starring Vietnamese band Toxic Quartet was released, titled Let Me Dream. The video aims to deliver a message of compassion about children living with HIV/AIDS, asking viewers to overcome discrimination. Let Me Dream tells the story of a little girl who was born to a mother with HIV. After the passing of both her parents, the little girl is subjected to the isolation of discrimination, despite not having the virus herself. But her hardship soon becomes a source of motivation as she begins to find passion for arts and contributes her successes to changing society's perception, removing their discrimination against people living with HIV/AIDS, especially children.
We have taken part in many other social projects in the past, like supporting children with cancer or disadvantaged children in rural mountainous areas. Our most recent project focuses on children born with cardiac diseases. And now, World AIDS Day is another subject for us to work on.
The Toxic Quartet is a new band made up of young members, with the youngest only 21 years old. The band had earlier conducted some projects in support of disadvantaged children.
We are part of the young generation, so we'd like to play our part in addressing social issues. And we use music to voice the message of our hearts, hoping that one day the world will be free of HIV, no one else will die of AIDS, and there will be no discrimination against people living with HIV/AIDS.
Music is the dream. It is power. Music can heal all pain and mend all wounds for the unfortunates. That is the message that these four young ladies are trying to convey. And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.